All Stars.
For all people.
We've got all the GCCs.
For the curious minds out there. You want it?
Well, then we got it, baby.
Before we get started, we would like to respect to all the people with disabilities out there. We would also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land on which we live and work. The First Nation people of Australia. We pay our respect to ancestors and elders past, present, and for many futures to come.
The views expressed in All Stars Radio episodes do not reflect the views of the organisation. Your DNA Creative Arts are the views and opinions of the individual members. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the custodians of this land in which we work and live, and I'd also like to thank elders past, present and future. As I said, you are listening to RSS Radio with your host Amara Wagner, and today I am joined by my mum, Jackie. Welcome.
Thank you, Amara.
The first question I'd like to ask you is, how long have you been working in the nursing industry?
40 years.
Whoa. How long have you been working in the midwife industry?
I was a midwife for 25 years.
Yeah.
But I left that just over 7 years ago.
Ooh. What are your main parts of your role?
My current role?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a manager.
Yeah.
So I am required to supervise a team of health coaches.
Yeah.
And that includes meeting with them monthly to give them some support and feedback. I need to review their calls to make sure that they're following all the processes that are required and meeting the needs of the customers.
Yep.
I also have to do some reporting to my managers.
Yep.
And I also manage the quality portfolio. So that means that I have to make sure all our documents are up to date and all our processes are being followed, and prepare for our audits. So we've got an audit coming up in July. So I'm pretty busy doing all the quality stuff at the moment.
Yeah. How long have you worked in as a health coach?
I worked as a health coach for about 4 months before I took on a management type role. But
Yeah.
I've been at my current job, so with my current employer,
Yeah.
for 7.5 years.
Whoa. That is a long time.
Oh, well, I've been a nurse for a lot longer and a mother for longer than that too.
I know. How did you go with doing health coach and nursing?
Well, they sort of are different, but they're sort of not too.
Yeah.
So I think we coach on chronic disease and assist customers to make changes to their health that might be beneficial to them. So it's just, as a nurse, you're more directive, but as a health coach, there are skills in getting the customer to come on board with you and to see what your suggestions are, how they might benefit their health. So it's still around health. It's just using a different medium, I suppose.
Yeah. How does health coaching and management differ?
Well, I'm not actually in contact with the customers anymore. So my team are the ones that are on the phones to the customers. So they're the ones that are delivering the direct service. And I just do all the checks and balances in the background to support them, assist with training, mentoring, and reviewing to ensure that the customers are getting the right information at the right time.
Okay.
And, I manage rosters and I manage sick leave and all the sort of stuff that managers generally do. But see, when I was working as a nurse, I've been in management roles for 30 years. So, the two sort of go hand in hand in a way.
Yeah.
But your listeners might not know and might be interested. I don't know.
Yeah. How was your childhood?
I grew up on a farm with my family in Pyramid Hill, which is about 50 miles north of Bendigo.
Yeah.
And I had 5 siblings. So we all mucked in together on the farm. So Dad ran a sheep and wheat farm that he inherited from his parents. And I went to school for the first 3 years, a little school that only had 7 pupils. That was called Bald Rock. And then that closed and we went into the big school.
Where was Bald Rock?
Bald Rock was near where we lived.
Whereabouts in Pyramid Hill?
We lived on a farm about 10 miles out of Pyramid Hill on the Midiamo Road. So we didn't live in town. And so the school that we went to was closer than the school than Pyramid Hill.
Okay.
But that closed down. So in grade 3, I went into school at the big school.
What was that called?
Pyramid Hill Consolidated School.
Uh-huh.
And then when I was about 13, my dad had been unwell. So we moved down to Melbourne because Dad wasn't able to manage the farm anymore. So that was a big change for us all.
Yeah.
And I started going to a school called Canterbury Girls' School, which was in Canterbury. And we lived above a shop because Mum and Dad ran a shop in Camberwell. So we lived above that shop for a while. And, yeah. But Pyramid Hill is a little town, and it still is. But for kids, it was quite lovely.
When you first got your first job,
when she was a teenager,
when you were a teenager, what was that?
My first job was as a paper girl. So when we first moved down to the city, 4 of us kids had paper rounds that we did in the mornings before school. So we'd get up at 5 a.m. and go down to the paper shop and collect the papers and then walk around delivering the papers to the locals and then come home, have a shower and breakfast and then get off to school. Did you know that?
No.
There you go.
I learn something new every day.
So you do. And then after that, I actually worked behind the counter in a news agency for a while. And then after I left school, before I started nursing, I worked in a supermarket.
Yeah?
Yep.
Have you always worked in the healthcare industry?
I have, but I've also done a little bit of direct sales as well. So for a while, I sold Tupperware on the side, and I have also taught people how to used rubber stamps to make cards and that sort of thing, and sold products for that. And I've also sold Thermomixes, but I've always had nursing as well.
Yeah.
So I like a bit of variety.
That's good, Mum.
Yeah. Dad sold Tupperware for a while too. Did he tell you that?
No?
That's when you were a baby.
Ah.
And I was working and he wanted to earn some money too, so he started doing Tupperware.
You also worked for the Bonnie Babes Foundation.
That was voluntary work.
What sort of volunteer work have you done in the past other than the Bonnie Babes Foundation?
Gee, I've done bits and pieces here and there. So I've done a bit for Red Nose Day.
Yeah.
I do a lot of voluntary work with the church at the moment because I'm on their board and that's a voluntary position.
Yeah. What sort of things do you do with the church?
So I sit on their board of management, the board of directors.
Yeah.
And so we make decisions about things like how to spend their money. So at the moment we're building a new building, but we approve the budgets, we approve senior staff, we have some different committees that people sit on. So there's a clinical risk committee, there's a cultural committee, and there's currently a building committee. So, you know, we're the overarching management team for the aged care facility.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry.
One of the other people in the radio program, Jackie, has asked, what's your favourite holiday that you've been on? Is there a memorable one?
I like anywhere where it's warm, especially this time of year, and there's beach and I can just chill out. But I think probably the best one was maybe when we all went to Fiji. So we went as a family.
Yeah.
Amara was about 16 and a half or something, and Grace was only little.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
What favourite food?
That's a really hard question because I like lots of different sorts of food. I do have a sweet tooth.
As we all do.
No, not everyone does. But I think probably lasagna would go close.
Pancakes and fresh fruit for breakfast, I know that much.
Well, that's my favourite breakfast probably.
Yeah. Roasts and stuff.
Yeah, but it's hard to pick a favourite, isn't it? Depends on how I feel.
Yeah.
Are you the same?
Yes. Foods do you dislike?
I don't like offal.
I don't either.
What else? Let me think. I'm not keen on mushrooms.
Me either.
I know. How did that happen?
I don't know.
What else? On most foods I'm okay with. I'm not big on Indian food, I have to say.
What were your childhood hobbies?
I used to like doing lots of different crafts, and I still do. So I like making cards. I like to knit. I used to knit a lot as a child. In fact, I taught myself how to knit. And what else? I love to cook. So I don't know if you'd call that a hobby or not, but I do like to cook.
What is your favourite music?
Again, I like a variety of different things. So I like Eric Clapton, I like John Farnham, I like Elton John. So a lot of the classics. I like the Beatles.
Are you scared of heights at all?
Oh, yes, I am. I think you knew that.
Yes. For all you listeners out there, you're listening to RSS Radio with your host, Amara Wagner. It's been lovely to chat with you, Mum.
Thank you. And with you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye now.
See you. Bye.
All Stars.
For all people.
We've got all the GCCs.
For the curious minds out there, you want it.
Well, then we got it, baby.
All Stars Radio, produced and written by
Amara Wagner.
Ben Pinnock.
Kayla Morrison.
Callum Barclay.
James Reed.
Nicholas Monston.